Welcome to the Round 6 Injury Report brought to you by AIA Vitality. Off the back of a hard loss over in the West, unfortunately there was a couple of injuries to come out of that. I'll just take you through basically what the synopsis of that game was. First up, we had Jeremy Howe. So he had a hamstring injury in the second quarter, had a scan yesterday when he got back to Melbourne. The good news is that the scan didn't show any muscle damage to the belly of the muscle itself. What had happened is he disrupted some of the scar tissue that had bedded down post-surgery when he had that knee surgery done last year. So from that grass site, disrupted some of the scar tissue that had formed over time in that healing process, which had stripped away, has caused a little bit of bleeding. So at the minute, Howie's pretty sore, and a timeline is hard to present this week. But hopefully we'll be looking for that 3 to 4 week mark in treating it like a standard hamstring injury. Once he gets back to full function again, building up his football fitness and his strength again. But hopefully, as I say, this isn't a bad outcome for Jeremy. Next up, we had Jordy De Goey. So Jordy suffered a broken nose and concussion. Still pretty symptomatic this morning, Jordy, and was sent home. He'll undergo the 12-day AFL concussion protocol, which will effectively rule him out of the Anzac Day clash this week. From last week, so Tay Adams with that high-grade MCL injury. So last week met with the surgeon and we got some good news on that front. Originally what was probably estimated as a 10 to 12 week injury off the back of his consult last week. Hopefully that came down closer to around the 8 week mark. So Tay's actually got better function this week. He started to load in the gym conservatively, and hopefully, as I say, he'll be around that 7 to 8 week return to play as of now. Billy Elliot, as mentioned a few weeks ago, obviously had that leg surgery with the ankle damage as well. So Billy's projecting really well. He's got really good range in his ankle. He's back in the gym loading and he's out of his boot. So effectively in the next couple of weeks then we'll start to see Billy start to go through some lower leg loading and start to get into that movement phase of his rehab. So some positive signs early for Billy Elliot. From the VFL, great win at Werribee, and on top of that, boys got through unscathed. So some promising signs from the young boys, a couple of boys that returned from injury. Nathan Murphy come back from his concussion last week and had a good game. Reece McInnes 3 games in now and was stellar again. And Will Kelly making great strides again off the back of his injury a few weeks ago. So positive news to come out of that game in Werribee. Fitting that on Anzac Day we're looking to call on more soldiers to come in. But effectively, we've got some established boys now in that VFL. Their first competitive hit out, but there's no shortage of those young boys now putting their hands up for this week. So that's pretty much a wrap now for this week's injury report. As I say, Howie, I'll reconfirm next week with the exact timeline, but hopefully prognosis not as bad as first deemed. Jordy obviously going through the 12-day concussion protocol. Another one to touch on was Brody Magic with that AC stinger. Like Jordy last week, got scanned and was cleared of any significant damage, so he'll full train this week, but we expect him to be fully fit to take on the Bombers on Sunday. That's a wrap from me. Let's get back to winning ways. We've got a couple of games now coming up where hopefully the boys can put some good performances together and start to even out the ledger. We've had a few losses now, but confident the boys can have a strong week this week, find the right football again, get a win against the Bombers and move forward from there. So let's go Pies this week.